I decided to do my 53-man roster projection video before training camp right now here on Lions Nation Unite. So in this video, I'm going to go through each position and who I think is going to make the team, who's not going to make the team, the reasons why. That's what I got for today's video. Let's get this thing started right now. If you're a fan of the Detroit Lions, you're going to want to subscribe to that channel right now because we talk all things Detroit Lions news and rumors on here. And we're going to be having a lot more content creators on here as well, waiting for the word, and then everybody can post on here. We're going to get into the 53-man roster prediction video through the Detroit Lions here and who I think is going to make the team and all of that. So let's get started with the quarterback position. I think this one is definitely not hard to figure out here. We got Jared Goff as the starter. Hendon Hooker is the backup quarterback, and I do not have Nate Sudfeld at being the number 3 cornerback. With that said, he's probably going to go to the practice squad. That would be my assumption there because they do like his thinking ability and having him in the room. So, look, I think that they'll make Hendon the backup. Nate Sudfeld will come in after he's cut. Practice squad. Back with the Lions in that sense. Now, look, I know there has been talk that Nate Sudfeld and Hendon Hooker potentially are battling out for QB2, but I don't see any realm of the possibility of Hendon Hooker losing this battle because you invested a third-round pick into this quarterback and in development, so it just doesn't make a lot of sense if you're to do that. But let me know in the comment section right now. Do you think that Hendon Hooker will be the backup, or do you think it'd be Nate Sudfeld? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I think 99.99% of everybody's going to put Hendon Hooker unless you're Nate Sudfeld watching this. Let's get into the running back position here. And this is who I got as the Detroit Lions starters, backups, and who are out here. I got Jahmyr, Gibbs, and David Montgomery as the starters. You could put, it doesn't really matter, RB1 or RB2 for each one, but they're going to be starters. Craig Reynolds, I do have RB3 making the cut, and Sione Vaki is RB4. What a great running back room here for the Detroit Lions. That the 1 through 4 is outstanding. Zonovan Knight, I don't have him making the roster. Jermar, Jefferson, don't have him making the roster. Jake Funk is not making it here as well. And again, if you, I think Zonovan Knight and Jermar Jefferson probably go to the practice squad. So that's what's going to be. And Jake Funk is just completely out of the picture here. We've heard absolutely nothing about him except for his marriage. So look, I think the running back room is really good. They got great backups, and they got backups of the backups that are pretty good. Not bad. Not bad right there. And I know it says a Lions quarterback too. That was a misnomer. This is actually a running back position. Let's get into the wide receivers here. I have a little bit different than most people. I have amon-ra St. Brown being wide receiver 1, Jameson Williams wide receiver 2. Khalif Raymond, I do have him winning the number 3 battle, so I have a number 3. Donovan Peoples-Jones goes to 4. Antoine Green making it to 5. And Darius Fountain, wide receiver 6. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to this, that's if they go 6 wide receivers. It could be 5 or 6. I may just go 6 here. If they only go 5, probably Fountain doesn't make the team. It'd be between him and Antoine Green. So just keeping an eye on those two battling it out. The first 4 is a lock. I know I always get asked about this. Traquan Smith, I don't have him making the roster. I haven't heard anything about him. Jalen Calhoun, nope. Tom Kennedy, the practice squad guy, the guy who's always making the practice squad. Maurice Alexander, I really do like as a kick returner. I have him out. With the new rules in Sony Vaki, he just doesn't make the team. He hasn't made the team anyways. And Caden Davis not making this roster. Let's jump to the tight ends. I got another different one here for you all. Sam Laporta, lock. Brock Wright, lock. It's the number 3, and I have Shane Zylstra winning it out over Isaac Rex, Parker Hesse, and James Mitchell. James Mitchell would have been on this one if it was last year. But look, he has not done anything yet, and he's slow. He's the slowest tight ends of everybody in here. Shane Zylstra is a productive tight end. He got injured last year, so that's why I have those 3 making the roster. Look, James Mitchell, we drafted him in the 5th round. He was a 3rd-round talent, but he is not really developed. He has not developed the way that we'd like him to see, and he's slow in OTAs and minicamp. He's the slowest. It's hard for me to put James Mitchell on here if his production is much less than everybody else. Just because we drafted him doesn't mean the Lions are going to keep him. Seriously, this team is ready for a Super Bowl, and you got to have the best 3 tight ends on the list. And to me, those are the best 3 right now. And we all wanted Mitchell to progress, but it just doesn't look like that's going to occur anytime soon. So, again, let me know in the comment section, who do you got making it as a tight end? Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think that Mitchell makes it? Shane Zylstra doesn't. Well, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Offensive line here, starters. Do we really need to talk about the starters? No. Taylor Decker, Graham Glasgow, Frank Ragnow, Kevin Zeitler, Penei Sewell, they're locked to be the starters. That's a lock. Let's get into the backups here. I do got Dan Skipper being a backup. He generally doesn't make the 53-man roster. We've seen that in Hard Knocks, but he does it here. Colby Sorsdale as well, backup. He's playing tackle. He's multiple positions now since he's kind of transitioned at tackle, so I think he'd be there. Giovanni Munu, we just drafted him. He's not ready. He's going to be a backup, though. Christian Mahogany. We all love Christian Mahogany. I have him on this team, as well as Kayuda Owosika. Now, Owosika may not make this team. What if they go 9 offensive linemen? That's a possibility. But right now, I have to have him making the team because he's done a good job in my perspective. You know, when he was last year, when he took in that role at the extra guard backup role, and he did fine. So I have him making the roster because of that. Look, I could be wrong, right? But that's what I got here. Let's jump into special teams. This is a good one. I got Jake Bates winning the kicking battle between Michael Badgley, and the reason I got this is I think he's just got the better leg. He's got the better ceiling. Jack Fox is the punter. Scott Daly is the long snapper. Michael Badgley, I have him actually in the practice squad. So, look, if Jake Bates doesn't work out, you can always go to Michael Badgley. But right now I have Bates making the roster. Because if the Lions are to cut Jake Bates, I think he gets picked up by another team. Michael Badgley gets cut. He goes to the practice squad. That's another reason as well. Really easy to go on this one. And the battle between Bates and Badgley is going to be really fun to watch. It's going to be a great battle, and we're all going to be able to view it. Who do you think wins this battle? Do you got Bates or do you got Badgley? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get into the defensive line, and here are the starters. Aiden Hutchinson, Aleem McNeil, DJ Reader, and Marcus Davenport. Look, I do have Davenport winning that starting job. They brought him in. They do like him. And that's what I got. The backups here, Mekhi Wingo, backup. We just drafted him. He's a backup. Levi Wuzurike, I have him making the team. He has done a lot this offseason. He continues to progress. Broderick Martin, who we drafted last year. Joshua Pascal, James Houston, and John Kaminsky. John Kaminsky is at the very bottom here. If there is one player that may not make the list, I think it would be Mr. John Kaminsky. And the others I don't have making here is Matthew Betts. I know we signed him. Isaac Ukwu, Nate Lynn, Chris Smith, and Kyle Pico not making the Detroit Lions defensive line. John Kaminsky, to me, is probably the name that you definitely look for. And apparently, this is the thing that we got to wait for. Next here, let's go into the linebacker position. We're going to go ahead and talk about it right now. I got Alex Anzalone being a starter, Jack Campbell being a starter, Derek Barnes starting, backups Jalen Reeves-Maben, Malcolm Rodriguez, and Mitchell Argud. Mitchell Argud is a edge / linebacker. I just have him making the roster. He'll be an edge rusher, whatever. You know how this situation is. It goes back and forth. Ben Needham and Darren Gilbert. That is the Detroit Lions linebackers that I have right now. Hey, could they go 5? They could go 5 linebackers, and then maybe Argud doesn't make it. But again, he's like an edge rusher, so it doesn't really matter what list you put him on. one of those. Let's get to the cornerback position here. These who I got as the starters, backups, and out. Carlton Davis, Terrion Arnold is 1 and 2. Amik Robertson is in there as well. Ennis Rakestraw, Emmanuel Mosley, and Khalil Dorsey being the backup. Out is Stephen Gilmore, Kindle Vildor, and Craig James. Again, I didn't put Brian Branch in this list. I just put him as a safety. We don't really know exactly what position, but those are the players that I do have for the cornerback position. I like Stephen Gilmore. I wish he'll probably go to the practice squad. We'll see if another team picks him up. Kindle Vildor, he'll probably go to the practice squad as well. That's what I have for the corners. Let's go to jump into the safety position here. Starters, Brian Branch. Again, he could be a nickel corner. Don't really matter, but he's there. Afutu Melifonwu and Kirby Joseph. 4 safeties making the cut with CJ Moore being the backup. He is the special teams ace, and we signed him for a reason. Brandon Joseph and a lot of hype around him. I don't have him making the list here. I have him on the practice squad. Shalane Garnes and Lauren Strickland making the roster. So, what do you guys think of my 53-man roster? What do you guys think? Do you think that this is a good one? Do you think that I definitely missed the mark here? Who do you got coming in? Who do you got coming out? Let's start a conversation here, because I think there's a couple players that it sucks because this is such a good roster. Players are going to get cut that could be starters on other teams. It's a hard situation when you're doing the cut downs to the 53. We all get invested into it. We all want our certain players, but it's going to be difficult this year because you have a really talented roster. So good players are going to be cut. Lions fans are going to be annoyed by that, but that's just the way it is, right? We are a good team. Good teams going to have to cut good players. It's just the way that it is. Folks, hit that notification bell, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the latest Detroit Lions news and rumors. With that said, folks, adios.